My name is Sabrina Martinez.
And I'm Sophia Velasquez, and we are in level 3.
We are doing event management, and our event is called Look Up and Live It.
We are from the Ferguson FCCLA chapter.
So for our proposal introduction, our client is the Youth Advisory Committee. The client asked for a day where their students and sister organizations can look up from their smartphones and live. Their focus is usually on community service, mental health, and the environment, and they would like to incorporate all these aspects. The client does have a very limited budget to work with because it is a nonprofit organization. So we will be pairing them with a public park or beach and creating nature-related activities. We'll be sourcing the food from the vendors. We'll be making a COVID-19 sensitive plan, as well as creating the advertising and promotion for the event. We'll also be sourcing the gift bags for attendees, as well as creating event organization forms, as well as the budget breakdown and making the agenda. So again, my name is Sabrina Martinez. Some of my relevant experience includes having been in a Six Sigma project with Hyatt for banquets and events. I also worked in the Marriott in Coral Gables, which gave me insight into a lot of different aspects of hospitality and customer service. I've also participated in a lot of competitions for FBLA, FCCLA, as well as in Ferguson culinary and catering.
As I said before, my name is Sophia Velasquez, and some of my experience is being the president of Aquaculture Club, which has taught me lesson planning and scheduling, along with being a volunteer at the Miller Road Animal Clinic, who has taught me to get hands-on for my future career, and working with vet techs and veterinarians. I'm also the senior officer sentinel, which has strengthened my leadership and responsibility skills. I'm also in eight other extracurricular clubs, which have helped me with time management skills for school and for my future.
So for our planning process.
So when planning such a fundraiser, the main thing was to concern about is ensuring that the students would enjoy the event while also staying in our financial budget and securing the profit for fundraising. Another concern that we had was making sure that we had finished the plan by the due date that it was set up in, and also collecting enough money to cover all the expenses that we wanted. So our main goal for our event was to create a space where students can reconnect with the community and with nature and take a break from reality with technology and school to focus on mental and physical health. We also wanted to raise to support the underfunded Nature Center, and a financial goal is to stay within the budget while covering all the expenses and meeting the needs that we wanted and the things that we needed and that we have identified.
So to form the plan, we wanted to really focus on the end game and convey that sense of community and the importance of mental health to our vendors and contractors, and also contract people that valued that. So we are targeting the students of the Youth Advisory Committee and of STAND, this total to 100 invitees. Considering the rule of thumb that 20% of invitees usually don't attend, we expect a turnout of 80 people. Well, we want to meet all the needs for the day while successfully fundraising to support the Nature Center. This will be taking place at the Biscayne Nature Center on Crandon Boulevard in Key Biscayne, and it will be called Look Up and Live It. So this will be taking place on Friday, March 26th. Because the weather in March is not too hot, it's not too cold, and the rain is unlikely. This is a county-wide teacher planning day too, so students will not have any prior commitments, and it will not cut into their weekend. The event is also a good start to their spring break. In any case, the second choice is February 15th, which is a bit chillier, but it's also a legal holiday and provides convenience. Of course, the whole reason for this is because the COVID-19 pandemic has driven most students into isolation, and it has shown statistically to have doubled the prevalence of depression and anxiety in teenagers. And we saw that the nature preserves of Miami-Dade do need funding, and of course, this fits with our clients' wishes. We saw some previous successes, such as the Ferguson FFA's Aguacate Sanctuary of Love fundraiser, which was very similar to this event. Now, we want our students to have the event to socialize in a safe setting while also providing guided mental release exercises, as well as learning about the local oceanic ecosystem, and all while giving back to the community and the environment.
The steps that we took to carry out this project were to work with our client to identify the needs and wants. We also wanted to find a near nature center and a resourceful food vendor and contact a volunteer yoga instructor. And also, our backup plan was to include finding eye-catching and informational virtual invitations and also promoting the event through flyers. So we wanted to keep in contact with our client to pin down the event dates, vendor preferences, and the agenda. We also wanted to update the event weekly and to contact the Biscayne Nature Center to work out the CDC guidelines.
Here are some pictures of how we envision our event.
So we have needs and wants. So what are our needs? Our needs are catering, ground access, museum and gallery access, seagrass adventure, hand sanitizer. Our wants are beach yoga, flyer, and invitations that will help promote the event.
Some more pictures of our vision for the event.
So the center that we chose included the Nature Art Gallery, Oceanic Pollution Exhibit, Indoor Mangrove Exhibit, saltwater aquariums, interactive flora, fauna, and indigenous stations where you can meet live animals.
So the ultimate goal for Yak and Stand is they wanted to create a day where the students could disconnect from technology and look up and live it, while learning about nature and giving back to the community. So we partnered them with the Biscayne Nature Center for the fundraising event. We do have the date set up, and the students will pay $10 as per Yak to attend the beach yoga, learn about the ocean, help the ecosystem, eat the local food, and unwind. The role of priorities. So our first priority was really to provide a mutually beneficial event for the students and the Nature Center. Of course, we wanted to give the students a chance to unwind and de-stress and assure that both the students and the center are satisfied with our services. Another important priority is to make sure that the costs are fully covered with the money collected and we have enough to fundraise and donate to the center. Of course, so we mentioned COVID-19 is actually one of the reasons why this event was created, but of course we need to take precautions. Now, masks will be worn at all times and social distancing will be exercised at all times. This will be enforced by the facilitators and people will be held accountable. Students will complete a mandatory exposure survey prior to admission. The museum and gallery do have a limit of 15 people inside the buildings per time slot. The time slots and signups are available upon admission and are put into groups. The students must bring their own mats and towels for the beach yoga and the seagrass adventure. This prevents, the spread of contamination and the sharing of items. If a student was quarantined by their school due to possible exposure prior to February 26th or a month before, they must have proof of a negative COVID test prior to admission. For eating, because of course they need to remove their mask, there will be a designated outdoor area and hand sanitizer and hand washing stations are provided by the center. Strict social distancing will be enforced and students will have to sign up for time slots, that way they are dispersed.
So this is the digital forms that we plan to have. On the upper left-hand side, you'll see the COVID-19 self-assessment, along with the right-hand side, the attendance and group choice, where students can pick their group, and right there we can station them and put them into different categories. So this is our agenda. The students will start the event at 9 a.m. and will finish at 3:15 p.m. They will be put into different slots and different groups, along with what they put for their choice. And there will be lunch at 12:15 p.m. to 1:15 p.m., which will include music, food, and relaxation.
So some more information on our agenda. Of course, the group rotations have been planned out, so they're not in contact with each other. R&R, referring to relaxation and recreation, is a time designated for the students to have on the beach with their supervisors, where they will be permitted to just relax or have fun with their friends to really focus on the whole de-stressing aspect of the event. The Google Forms will be provided upon arrival and they will be enforced immediately. They also provide ease of access for the rosters and having easy attendance for safety and efficiency purposes. Each group will have a group leader, which is a member of the Youth Advisory Committee Student Board. For our financial challenges, we really had to keep in mind that our client is a nonprofit organization who is aiming to help another nonprofit organization. This means our budget is very low and we need to keep expenses at a minimum. We had to be really resourceful to make this happen and having everything we wanted in the event. So the Children's Trust, which sponsors the Youth Advisory Committee, provided $500 towards the budget. So we needed to balance an admission price, which would finish covering the cost, as well as provide fundraising for the Nature Center.
So our event personnel include the Biscayne Nature Center Seagrass Adventure Guide, along with Danielle Barrers as facilitator and chaperone, and the Aaron Hammond as facilitator and the chaperone, along with Cabo Food Trucks workers and the Biscayne Nature Center Exhibit Guide, and the Yak and Stand Board as group leaders with the following volunteers. And these volunteers are actually student leaders of the visiting organizations and will be briefed on the agenda and pertinent details. So obviously a big part of the planning was to choose a nature center. So we looked up 3 nature centers that we wanted to use to compare and contrast. We compared them by space, amenities, and other budget and financial situations. So we decided to go with Biscayne Nature Center because it had various amenities and it had a good space. Compared and contrast to Castillo Hammock Reserve and the Sense of Wonder Nature Center, it just didn't have those amenities that complied the CDC guidelines or the space that we wanted. For promoting our event, we wanted to use virtual invites and flyers. So we compared and contrast 3 websites, so Smilebox, Canva, and Paperless e-invites. We ended up choosing Canva because of the budget and because it had a 30-day free trial, and which included both the virtual invitations and flyers that we wanted to use. Contrast to Smilebox and Paperless e-invites, they had 125 invites that costed $195, and Smilebox had $11 per month, which didn't fit in our budget.
These are some examples of posts and flyers that could be used to promote the event. And of course, we ended up going with Canva to produce these flyers.
So for food, we decided to go with food truck catering. We compared and contrast Roots Canva, Charlie's Vegan Tacos, and Organic Food Kings. We ended up going with Roots Canva because of the variety of food that was healthy and because it ranged from $5 to $25 with a $200 flat fee. Contrast to Charlie's Vegan Tacos, it was $15 per person, and Organic Food Kings, it was $250 flat fee. So we ended up going with Roots Canva because of the budget.
So for the swag bags, which we thought would really cheer up the students and encourage them to, cope healthily, we looked into different items such as stress balls and stickers, and we found that Oriental Trading had an assortment of mental health awareness items, which were already pre-printed with labels and sayings and whatnot that contributed to the awareness. And so it brought 250 pieces for $40, and the bags themselves were $4.17 for 50 pieces. For the event planning, we needed first to set a budget, and so the Children's Trust committed $500 towards the budget, and with the ticket sales estimating the 80 people and the Yak designated $10 fee, that it would be $800, meaning we would have $1,800 in cash to spend. For our expenditures, of course, first we need a venue, which is typically the most expensive. However, because it was a nonprofit organization and we paired them with another one for a fundraiser, we did it in a public park, which had no cost. For the Seagrass Adventure, however, there is a fee that contributes to the lending and disinfection of the items that you need, such as the vests and the nets. We needed 80 of these items, and it cost $5 for each person with a total cost of $400. The Canva subscription, which allows us to use the customization and editing for the free and modern flyers and invitations. We needed 100 invitations, and because of Canva's subscription model, we did not have any cost. The items themselves for the swag bags we got from Oriental Trading and were low cost and already came assorted and were in theme. It made 83 bags, which made each unit of 0.49 cents and a total cost of $40. For the bags themselves that were also from Oriental Trading and very cost effective, we had 100 bags and each bag cost 0.084 cents and a total of $8.34. The Roots Cabo food truck fee, which was the deposit, they provide healthy and savory meals at good prices, and it costs $200. Therefore, our total cost was $648 with 34 cents. This means that the total fundraise or the profit would have been $1,000 and 151. Therefore, all that would go to the Biscayne Nature Center for the preservation of local ecosystems. So among the many skills this project exercised, adaptability is one that was most prevalent. We learned to remain flexible and pivot our options and even whole sections of the event to achieve the goals of our client and stay in budget and on schedule.
The obstacles that we faced in the planning portion was putting the thought on how it can be fun and effective for the students' mental health and for also following the CDC guidelines. We dealt with this by speaking to other students about the preferences and to the officers of other clubs which had a similar event in the past and could give us pointers and ideas.
This whole project really identified with the hospitality and tourism career pathway, and it really capitalized on skills such as resource management and interpersonal skills. Here are some of the resources we used, such as the people we contacted and websites we accessed. Thank you.